Hi, I'm Rick Anthony, and welcome to the Someone You Should Know podcast, the podcast that focuses on musicians, authors, and interesting people. We like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. So sit back, have a cold one, and get ready to meet someone you should know. We have interviewed many amazing musicians, authors, and interesting people in the first 200 episodes of the Someone You Should Know podcast. And this time, a talented lady who makes a living as a voice actor. When I think of voice actors, I'm reminded, of course, of Mel Blanc, Seth MacFarlane, and Nancy Cartwright. And also, when I think of movie trailers, I think of John Leader and Al Chalk and Mark Elliott, Nick Tate, and Don LaFontaine, to name just a few. But today, we happen to have a lady who happens to be the voice of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and also the character Kazuko from this year's Academy Award animated film, The Boy and the Heron. She's on board to talk about her fourth children's album called Gotta Go Green. Will you please welcome the very talented Debi Derryberry. How you doing, darling?
Hi, Rick. Thank you so much for having me on your fabulous podcast. Wow, I'm just so honored to be here. You've done so many episodes.
Thank you, darling. It's so nice to kick off like the next group of 100 or so with you. It's just wonderful. And I have been a fan of yours for quite a while. You've got so much accomplishments we're going to talk about a little bit later here. But I got to ask you, at what point in your life did you realize you had a knack for creating voices?
Never.
Never?
I have been a singer my whole life and a songwriter, and that has always been my passion and my go-to and what I do in my spare time. And when I went to Nashville to be a country singer, I got jobs as a session singer. What everybody wants to do is be a jingle singer, but I only got hired to sing like a baby or a child. And so I came back to LA to do voice work, and then I had an agent who sent me out for kids' voices and cartoons, and that was the start. Like over 30 years ago, Rick, I've been talking like a baby.
There you go. But the thing is, it works perfectly for you as far as that goes. It works great.
It does. And the name Derryberry sounds like a cartoon.
It does, yeah. I was going to say, is that okay? That's an original name. That's a very original name.
Well, not in Tennessee. It's not an original name. It's quite common. Common in the South. No, there's tons of Derryberry families, unrelated.
Son of a gun.
But when I married it and divorced it, I kept it because I thought it sounds like a cartoon.
It does. Now, I actually learned a little bit about character voicing by being a parent. When I'm reading the books for my kids, I was voicing all of the particular roles. And when I was doing it for my nephew, my sister-in-law was looking at me going, how in the heck is he doing that? Then skip ahead a couple years later, I'm working for the All-Star Radio Network, and I'm creating all these funny character voices through the years, and I just had a ball doing it, and it's just part of who I am right now. Now, you've been voicing key characters in animated series, video games, and movies such as Jimmy Neutron, and also Kazuko in the Boy and the Heron. 30 years of being in Hollywood and doing these things, over 400 IMDb credits. Would you mind doing a couple of voices for our listeners? I hate to put a person on the spot and say, hey, can you tell a joke or something like that? Would you mind doing
No, I'd be happy to do that for you, Rick. Yeah, so I totally don't mind doing that for you. No, I don't mind at all. I'll be in my lab. Oh, for sure. Honey, we'll see you in your lab later, okay?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, you were in college to have a career in pre-med. How did your parents take the news that you were going to be a voice actor?
How about that? Yeah, Dad, I didn't get into med school the first application. So I did the whole pre-med at UCLA. It took me 4.5 years. I applied to med schools, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is not what I really want to be doing. So one of my friends at the time said, Debbie, you need to move to Nashville. You're so focused on country music. So I said, okay. And I packed up my car and moved. And, at the time, I didn't really think about how it affected my parents. But now, as a mom, I'm thinking, oh my God, they must have been devastated. The only kid in their, in their brood that finished UCLA as a pre-med, and they thought, oh, we got it made. No.
So much for our health care.
I must say they were very supportive of me in my country music aspirations. And it wasn't until, like, I would say 4 years later, I had a TV series. So then they were like, all right, maybe you can make a living at this.
Yeah. Convincing my family that I was going to go and be a broadcaster was one thing, too. It's like, you could do, I want to grow up and be a broadcaster. Well, you can do one of two things. You can't grow up and be a broadcaster. It's one of the two. You know, type thing. Yeah. But this is something I've been wanting to do since I was 12 years old. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And God blessed me with some pipes. Didn't bless me with the good looks, but he did bless me with the pipes.
Come on. You're pretty good looking. I don't know if everyone can see you now, but you got a nice blonde head of hair. You got the Santa Claus beard. You're happy.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Now on Social Security, it's nice to even still have this kind of hair. So it's wonderful. Very good. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about your movie roles and everything else that you've done. But I want to talk about this new album you got going. It's your fourth children's album. It's called Gotta Go Green. How does this one compare to the other albums that you had in the past? Those other three. How does it compare?
The other three albums, the first one, it was just kind of a fluke that I would do this album because I kept singing, and one of my cousins was like, yeah, just put it all down in an album. So I thought, why not? And I had written this song called Baby Banana based on a character my ex came up with, of this banana with his father who's a gorilla and his mom who's a duck, sort of this diverse family. And they had a baby banana, so I wrote a song in this album. I put it out, and it went to number one on the charts, the song Baby Banana on XM Sirius. I'm like, wow, that hell is radio play. And so that album was all the songs that I had sort of been singing my whole life, the Wheels on the Bus, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, this compilation of all of it. Mm-hmm. And then the second album, I thought, well, I'll need to write more. So it was more of a fresher album with more newer songs, but I brought some of the old songs over. And then the third album, since Baby Banana had done so well, I did a whole album on Baby Banana and orangutans and rainforest and tropical fruits and things like that. And this was all when my kid was still in elementary school. Mm-hmm. And then I took a long break. And now I have been so focused on recycling and saving the earth and realizing, oh my goodness, our kids, they're the ones that have to get the message. Because obviously we have failed, just monumentally failed at fixing anything. However, I can do my part by helping the kids know and putting those questions in their mind. So I started talking to and co-writing with some of my people here in Hollywood. Like I wrote Electric Car, Recycle, and Earth Day's My Birthday with a friend named Michael Levine, who he's famous for writing the jingle for the Kit Kat. Give me a break, give me a break. Yeah. That's Michael Levine. So you can't just sing part of it.
I know. That's just. Yeah.
I know you had to sing the whole thing.
I wanted a piece of it. So.
Very good. So the second, I had another song on there that I one of my voiceover friends, her husband is just an amazing composer and arranger as well. So I wrote a few songs with him. And all of a sudden, this album started coming together that I thought was going to be called Earth Day's My Birthday. And then when I signed with the publishing with APM, they were like, no, Gotta Go Green, because that's the tone of the album. Right. And I ended up with a whole album full of these songs containing messages that I feel passionately about. I mean, I drive an electric car. I try not to produce any garbage. I mean, I do. And I'm I don't buy Girl Scout cookies because they still use palm oil, or peanut butters with palm oil because it kills the orangutans. I have this enormous soapbox I'm climbing on top of to spread my message.
Oh dear God, you and my wife are one and the same. She is on me anytime that I don't recycle things properly. She is so environmentally conscious. We have not one, but two recycled garbage cans. Everyone's got one. We've got two because she is so good at that. She was even interested in finding out what kind of carbon output we would have on our trip to London. So it was.
It's big. Yeah.
It's amazing. The two of you should get together and talk and maybe have a project together. But good Lord, it is amazing that you two are kind of sisters from different misters or something like that. It's amazing you got that kinship right there. So the first song we're going to feature is called Gotta Go Green. This is the title cut.
Yes.
The backstory on this particular song.
I'm going to open this album. It's going to make some noise there.
No problem.
Because they put my cardboard cover to my album in a plastic wrapper.
Oh, no.
Next time I'll know better and say, don't wrap it in plastic. This song, I thought, well, I've been studying music publishing and the business for a long time, but I've also been writing for kids for a very long time, for my whole life. And repetition is an important thing with children. So this song has a lot of repetition, but it also has a hip, fast, really, I don't know, modern feel to it. And it plays with meter a little bit. And I wrote it with Steve Brickman, who is like the music road manager who plays every instrument in the world for a girl named Claro, who is I know, you and me aren't Gen Zers, but if we were, we'd know who Claro is. So it's written with him, and it just, you can't stop tapping your foot to it.
Awesome.
And it talks about cleaning up the world. And the video, I have a lot of animated videos, which we're going to talk about my kids' YouTube channel, Debi Derryberry Kids. But this is a super fun animated video on the channel. So
awesome.
I'll hush and let's enjoy this.
Ideal for kids from 1 to 92. And all right, very good. It's Gotta Go Green from Debi Derryberry right here on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Clean it on up. Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Clean it on up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Clean it up. Let's make it better and fix the weather. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Yeah. Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Clean it up. Here's the solution. Stop the pollution. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Let's do this. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Go green, go green. Be super clever. Let's work together. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Woo! Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Woo! Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Let's do this. Hey yeah, gotta go. Woo! Hey yeah, clean it on up. Let's make it better and fix the weather. Let's clean the world up, clean it up. Go green, go green. Here's the solution. Stop the pollution. Let's clean the world up, clean it up. Clean it on up. Be super clever. Let's work together. Let's clean the world up, clean it up. Gotta go green. You superhero, stand up and cheer. Let's clean the world up, clean it up. Yeah. Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Woo! Gotta go green, 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 gotta go green. Clean it on up. Let's clean the world. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up. Let's clean the world. Let's clean the world up. Let's clean the world up. Clean it up.
A song for kids of all ages right there. We've got to go green, Debi Derryberry right there. She's our guest this time on the Someone You Should Know podcast. Her latest album is called Gotta Go Green, and we've got more great music from that coming up in a few. But I want to say thanks so much for tuning into the Someone You Should Know podcast. Over 200 episodes now, and you can find us on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. If you go there, once again, over 200 episodes, our recent news, and everything else you might want to find out about the show, including me and my guests and such, okay? According to Buzzsprout, the service that shares us to all the streaming platforms, gosh, we're so incredibly blessed in our 200 episodes, over 2,300 cities in 90 countries around the world. And want to name a couple that are new to us: Fresno, California; Yuma, Arizona; Kokomo, Indiana; and Montego Bay, Jamaica. Thanks so much for being part of our family. Someone You Should Know podcast, heard wherever quality streaming audio is available. Thanks for listening. We're talking with the very talented voice actor and singer Debi Derryberry. Now, before we get back into the acting, I want to maybe switch gears a little bit here and talk about an LA-based band that you're part of called Honey Pig. not Honey Ham, it's Honey Pig?
Honey Pig.
Honey Pig, not Honey Ham. Okay.
I've always loved country music, and I've always adored harmonies, and I've always written this sort of, I don't know, it's my signature sort of songs I write with these harmonies lacing the whole songs together. It's like all candy all the time.
Okay.
I have to learn how to intersperse my harmonies, but pretty much I do it all the way through. So I have these two other women and me, so three females, sort of like a Chicks, sort of like a Emmylou, Dolly Parton.
Right, exactly.
Who's the third one I'm leaving out? Emmylou, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, who's my favorite singer of all time. So I had started Honey Pig, I don't know, over 20 years ago, and it's had a few iterations because people have life-changing events like kids and moving to different countries. The current version is me and two other voice artists, Brenna Larson and Stephanie Sutherland. Both are who are active in the animation community, and the three musicians, in addition to myself, I play guitar, are our husbands.
Wonderful.
Stephanie's husband plays mandolin and banjo. My husband plays bass. Brenna's husband plays the percussion. And we do covers and original stuff. And you can find us on at Honey Pig Music. And we're playing gigs around Los Angeles. But if anyone's listening and wants to bring us to their winery in Napa or San Diego or anywhere around LA, we will come and do a couple of sets. And it's for fun, like you do your podcast of over 200 episodes, which is amazing. For fun. We do Honey Pig for the passion, the joy, the fun that it brings to me. And I was a Girl Scout way back before I knew they put palm oil in their cookies. But I remember Girl Scout choir, Debbie Reynolds came once. I don't know if you remember an actress named Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Singing in the rain. Is that her? Anyway, we did a performance for her in our choir. But the thing that gets me going are the harmonies, Rick. It does something to me. Really? I love very cool 3-part or more harmonies. In fact, my husband's taking me to see Jacob Collier. I don't know if you've ever listened to his music, but he's insanely talented. And harmonies just light me up.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to surprise you here. We're going to actually feature one of the songs that, it was a song that Honey Pig did in 2023 called Mile a Minute. What's the story on Mile a Minute?
It's a song I wrote having been in Los Angeles, and life is so busy. You're going to make me start crying, but it's meeting somebody who shows you how to slow down and enjoy life, even though you go, 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 go.
That sounds like my wife. That sounds exactly what's going on here. Very good. Well, here's Honey Pig, A Mile a Minute, featuring today's podcast guest, Debi Derryberry, on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
I've been down the aisle and been around a while. There has been a tough decision or two. I've been a genuine go-getter. I never heard the words, don't let her. And I work a mile a minute, then You stop the world from passing me by, and that's why I gone and taken the plunge, soaked it up like a sponge. Lord, I know those LA freeways, it's true, I do. I got a house full of toys, I got a head full of noise. I see it gone a mile a minute, then you stop the world from spinning so fast. Got that monkey off my back, went from out there to back on track. You stop the world from passing me by. La 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 la, jumping off the big ball. La 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 la, and they all get so small. La la la, you just stopped it. You just stopped it, that's all. Many billboards have said you can rest when you're dead, till I feel the need to split me in two. Well, I work the job done, and I see the race run, and I'm in it, mile a minute, then you stop the world from spinning so fast. Got that monkey off my back, went from out there to back on track. You stop the world from passing me. Don't you know I thought that's the way that it had to be. Well, I'm ready to break if you're asking me. The world was passing me by, it was passing me by.
Honey Pig is the name of the band. The project is part of what Debi Derryberry, my guest, is doing in the LA area. Make sure you check the show notes on information on where Honey Pig is going to be performing and how you can get Honey Pig to play your backyard picnic, maybe. I don't know. I got a question for you. How do your kids react to your success, being the voice of Jimmy Neutron or being all those other roles and such? Do they go, are you just mom, or are you just like, wow, that's my mom doing that?
You know, that's a really good question, Rick. I get asked that from other people who have kids. I have one kid, and growing up, he was part of the animation world. So for him, it wasn't a big deal. Oh, we're going over to Jim's. Yeah, he does Winnie the Pooh. Oh, we're going over to Tom Kenny's. He does SpongeBob, whatever. We're going over to Tara's. Yeah, she does, Fairly Odd Parents or whatever. Everything was so normal for him. I think he thought that all kids' parents did cartoon voices, and it wasn't a big deal for him. But now that he's older, sometimes he'll drop the Neutron card and say, oh yeah, my mom, the Jimmy Neutron, or if he wants something from somebody.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a big deal. I was just mom, and us voice artists in LA that do cartoons, a lot of us live right here in this same little area of North Hollywood, Toluca Lake, Sherman Oaks, and it's kind of not a big deal because, I mean, this is my room. You're looking at it. I don't know if you guys can't see it, but I pretty much, now that post-pandemic, I record in my booth here in my house. I'm all by myself all day, every day. And so when I go to conventions with other voice artists and get to see them, it's so fun reconnecting because, of course, back in the day, we would all record in the same room at the same time. But I think the producers got wise to it, and they were like, this takes too long. Actors on headphones. Get them in here separately. I know I'm totally digressing from my kid.
No, this is perfect. Actually, I was going to ask you the next question as far as hanging around with other voice actors as far as it goes. I had the great honor of one of the very first interviews that I did when I was at the All-Star Network was Nancy Cartwright, who's, of course, the voice of Bart Simpson. Any other voice actors that you hang around with or names you'd like to drop? Go ahead.
Nancy's great. And in fact, a few years ago, pre-pandemic, isn't that how we mark our lives now?
We used to say, AC or BC, after COVID, before COVID, you know?
Yes, that's what it is. I teach a lot of voiceover as well, and I have lesson plans for different specifics, and I teach how to talk like a kid. So I asked Nancy if she wanted to join me and teach this class, and we had a nice little turnout, and so Nancy and I taught that class, and we I can, we can just call whoever, because I know everybody. It feels like I do. And when, like I said, when we show up at conventions, like last week we were in San Antonio, and I got to hang with my girlfriend Candy Milo, who's known from Dexter's Lab, and she was also the bully in Jimmy Neutron. And I got to hang with Jason Marsden, who's now in Nashville, I guess, but he and I did a show called Peter Pan and the Pirates together. Way back, and I was Tinkerbell and he was Peter Pan, and Tim Curry was Captain Hook.
Oh my.
And I got to hang with Bill Farmer, my buddy who lives down the street. In San Antonio we were together, and he was singing, he's goofy. And my buddy who does Donald Duck's voice, Daniel Ross, is here frequently. So yeah, I spend all the time with my VO people.
And that's just it. As far as we are such a small little niche, as far as there's not a lot of broadcasters. I mean, not as much as plumbers and airline pilots and such and this and that. The other.
Yeah.
You know, it's we know each other. We're all hanging in the same circles and such. And I see a lot of that on Facebook as far as that goes. Such and such retired, someone such died, something like that. And we're always touched by something. And it just warms me to be a part of this whole community. I was incredibly blessed when I was at the All Star Radio Network. One of the things I got to do was
That's my dog barking.
That's no problem. I got to interview all the celebrities and then cut the audio up and then send it out to all the different morning shows to where it sounded like you were talking to Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, or whoever it might be. And I was the one that got to do it. So I've got, 20 years worth of interviews on tape, plus the ones that we're doing now and such. It's just, and this is the reason why I'm doing this particular podcast is I was married for almost 40 years to my first wife, and she'd been around the world with me and up until 2018. And my lovely wife, who I've known since the 7th grade, is just the sweetest lady in the world. But I'm watching TV and going, I talked to him, I talked to her, I talked to them about this particular thing. And she goes, you got to write a book. I said, no, I'm not doing a book. She said, we'll do a podcast. And then I started thinking about what am I going to call it? And I'm going, well, what not I bring back the show that I really and truly loved? And that's just it. And it's all about doing this and using your talents, your voices and such and such. I want to feature another song from your album. This one's called Earth Day, My Birthday. Earth Day, of course, was back
in... my birthday.
Yeah. Is Earth Day your birthday by chance?
Earth Day is not my birthday, but the song is written about Teddy the tree.
Okay.
And I named it Teddy. A friend of mine is an animator on The Simpsons, and he actually won an Emmy for creating Krusty World. But
Krusty World!
His son is named Teddy, and so I wrote this about Teddy the tree because T and T sounded good together.
Awesome.
And it's... I wanted there to be a song for Earth Day.
Awesome.
And I know it's only one day out of the year, but I think it's a very important day. And this song teaches kids about photosynthesis, or raises the question, and about cutting down trees and burning them down and honoring them and enjoying them for what they are.
Oh, this is special.
And those simple little subjects not only can raise questions for kids, what is photosynthesis, Mommy? I want to study that in college. But it also gives an awareness to a tree as a live being that's our job to take care of. And I wrote this one with Michael Levine.
Absolutely. My wife would say the same thing as far as there's no live Christmas trees at our household because we're not going to cut down a living thing to bring it into our house. You and my wife need to sit down and have some coffee together.
We're like the same person.
Earth Day's my birthday from today's podcast guest, Debi Derryberry, right here.
Earth Day's my birthday. Do you know what I want to do? Earth Day's my birthday today. I'm Teddy the tree and I'm tall, you see, so everybody looks up to me. I'll tell you what I want to see on my birthday, my Earth Day. I want to take all of your CO2 and turn it into oxygen for you. I want to be that shady climbing tree and share my leafy canopy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Earth Day's my birthday. Do you know what I wanna do? Earth Day's my birthday today. It's my birthday. Earth Day's my birthday. Got some ideas to share with you. Earth Day's my birthday today.
Hey, 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 hey.
I love leaves, I love the birds and bees. They're my responsibility. I'll tell you what I wanna see on my birthday, my Earth Day. I want long limbs and I wanna live large. I wanna meet another evergreen named Marge. And when we reach up to the skies, we will photosynthesize. Earth Day's my birthday. Gonna drop seeds and grow some roots. Earth Day's my birthday today.
Hey, 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 hey.
Earth Day's my birthday. Gonna branch out with nuts and fruits. Earth Day's my birthday today.
Hey, hey, hey.
Don't burn me up. Don't cut me down. Give me some wind and hear my song. Climb up my branches, sing along. Earth Day's my birthday. Do you know what I wanna do?
Tell me.
Earth Day's my birthday today.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
Earth Day's my birthday. I got some cool ideas to share with you. Earth Day's my birthday today.
Happy birthday to you.
Today.
From her latest album called Gotta Go Green, that's today's podcast guest, Debi Derryberry, right there. Earth Day is my birthday. And getting back to voice acting, I got to ask you here as far as if I've done voice acting through the years, and there might be a listener listening right now. So, yes, I think I can come up with some character voices. What would be the advice you would give them to get their start into doing what you're doing, Debbie?
Excellent question. I would say, read my book.
Oh, she's got a book. Look at that. I'll be darned.
This is the second edition of VoiceOver 101, How to Succeed as a Voice Actor, available on Amazon. And everything I know, Rick, from 30 years of doing this plus, 30 years plus, is in here. And I do think that it's sometimes deceiving because you hear somebody doing voices or, commercials and you're like, I could do that. Yes, you can do that. But there's some hurdles over which you must jump. One of them is being technically savvy and having knowledge of how to record at home and have a home booth, have the right microphone, interface, studio, 4 walls, getting an agent, making a demo. But most important, Rick, is being an actor. That's the title of the book, How to Succeed as a Voice Actor. You have to be an actor. Whether a lot of the voice actors I know have classical theatrical training. Some have no training at all, but have this natural ability to not only create voices, but to act through them, like you in reading your books to your children throughout your life. But the advice I'd give to them is to study with a lot of people, to watch podcasts on voiceover like VO Buzz Weekly, to read web articles or pages like iwannabeavoiceactor.com, or go to my website, debiderryberry.com. It's a lot of study. Universities don't necessarily teach this. I teach. There are classes all over, online, anywhere in the world. So yeah, it's not something you can jump into with $0. It's like trying to get a college degree without any money for tuition. There is a cost associated with it and a lot of effort and a lot of business contacts. So it is a business.
Right, yeah.
And it's harder now, I think, than ever, since it has become a global workforce as opposed to the animation actors living here in Los Angeles. They live everywhere in the world. So my competition is not just the LA actors that, 20 years ago, a few agencies submitted their clients, and they picked from a handful of us. Well, it's not that way anymore. I compete for a job against thousands of people. So I don't want to scare anyone away from it, because if there's something you love to do, then that's what you should do.
Absolutely. I tell anyone who wants to get into radio, don't do it for the money, do it for the passion, because this is all I've ever wanted to do since I was 12 years old. And I'm just very blessed that I still love doing it. Here I am, 64, and I'm still loving it. I want to talk about Debi Derryberry Kids on YouTube. Can you give us the rundown of all that now, okay?
Thank you, Rick. Yes, this is my new passion, and if anyone's listening, I would just be honored if you would go to Debi Derryberry Kids, not Debi Derryberry Official, because that's the other one, but Debi Derryberry Kids is my new YouTube channel that has kid videos, music videos, whether they're animated or lyric videos, and it's kids safe, kids friendly, and it's got all my kids songs on it and some other things that are super fun for kids. And I created a caricature of me called Little Debbie. That way I can do this
not the snack cake lady, right?
I spell it different.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as big a thing here in Los Angeles, the Little Debbies. I know when I was in Tennessee, Little Debbies was like, everybody knew about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like moon pies in Tennessee. Yeah.
Yes. But it's a very fun station that's safe for kids. It has not funneled, as of today, down into YouTube Kids on your kid's iPad. So you'll have to go to it on the regular search. And there's always new videos coming up. There is a couple blocks of videos I want to talk about. One is the kids' songs and the animated videos that go with it for Gotta Go Green, and for some other songs. I have a new album and a new song coming up that I'll talk about in a second. The second batch is the first day of school and the last day of school compilation. Every year on the first and last day of school, I would sing my kid this 40-second ditty I wrote. And this year, I actually produced officially the last day of school song and made a lyric video of it, which is on there. And I went to Boulder, Colorado on his last day of college and woke him up singing that song. I barely got through it. I was crying my eyes out, but we filmed it. So I have the whole compilation of the last day of school. The third fun set of videos on there are me doing little videos with, she's no longer with us, but I had a pig named Mimi, who was a house pig. And there's a lot of Mimi the Pig videos on there.
Awesome.
So those are really fun things for kids to watch. And as a parent, it's important to find a channel that is safe for your kids. And this one is.
It's called Debi Derryberry Kids on the YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link down in the show notes, okay? I want you to look for that.
Thank you.
Click on that for the kiddos, and then you'll be set, Mom and Dad. Okay. Very good. Now, normally, this is a segment where we do Tales from the Road, those infamous road stories where things didn't go well as a musician on the road. Now, since you're a voice actor, how about we do something like Tales from the Voice Studio?
Oh, boy. I've got a lot of them, Rick. I remember once, with voice work, you have to be on. Your voice has to be good. Your mental state has to be good. It's not like you wake up and don't feel great and you go into work and you just do it by route or whatever that expression is. I had ingrown toenail surgery once, and they gave me medicine to keep it from hurting. But I think it was something like a Vicodin or something that was
Lord.
Like made me a little loopy. And I went in to do an episode of Jimmy Neutron, and I swear I could not say the words. I could barely read. I was like, what am I thinking going to work after I had toe surgery? I had to obviously re-record the session. There was another session where they wanted this little animated boy character. In a video game, there's a lot of physicality.
Right, yes.
And he had to do a backflip and land. And I was trying my best to do it, but I did so many takes, I actually gave myself whiplash.
Oh, Lord. Jeez.
Yeah. It's a very physical job.
Uh-huh.
You know, sometimes I'll get so dizzy, I'll have to hold on and not fall, you know, because I'll fall down, I'm so out of breath. Or sometimes I'm in session and I'm sweating so bad from the exertion of it all. Mm-hmm. That will have to go on even like vocal rest where you just don't talk at all. There was this one show I did called, I'm saying all the bad things. It's called Tasmania with the Tasmanian Devil as voiced by Jim Cummings, who's also Winnie the Pooh. I played his little brother named Jake, and I auditioned for this in a voice that I was unable to sustain for 4 hours. That's how long the sessions are.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
And I ended up actually getting vocal nodes from...
Really?
Yeah. I can't do that. That's not in my wheelhouse. So I always tell my students, if you can't sustain that voice for 4 hours, don't audition for it. So that one was a tough show to do. Got through it okay. Went to a medical voice teacher, and she straightened me all up. It is the funnest job anyone could ever have, and I'm really grateful to be in it.
Let's talk socials. As far as we've talked a little bit about your YouTube channel. We've got a couple YouTube channels. You've got your website. Let's talk about how people can stay in touch with what's going on with you and where they might hear from you next.
Okay. Well, I have almost 1.3 million followers on TikTok. Thank you so much. So that's at Debi Derryberry. And if you're just listening, I'll spell it because it's not typical. It's DebiDerryberry. And that's the same at Debi Derryberry for Instagram, for TikTok, and for Facebook World. It's Debi Derryberry's World is where you can find kind of what I'm doing. For voiceover, there's Debi Derryberry's, I guess, voiceover. But you can reach me either on my website, debiderryberry.com, or through any of my socials. I am on X, but I not too often. It seems like all these platforms have got their reputations. You know, like my TikTok is these ridiculous videos, and then my Insta is more like resume kind of things, and then the Facebook World is, you know, actually what I'm doing today, and then the X seems to go more political.
Absolutely, yes, exactly, yeah. What is Jimmy Neutron's party? We want to know. How's he going to vote? How's he going to vote? We're going to wrap.
I know everybody, usually they want to hear Jimmy Neutron say, "Got a blast! There, I did it, you guys! Think, brain blast!"
Awesome, very good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Very, very good. Tell you what, we're going to wrap it up with My Electric Car. We talked about it earlier. Let's talk about My Electric Car to wrap up.
Yes. I had called my buddy, Ed Begley Jr., who's, I've known him for, decades, and I called him when I wasn't sure which electric panels to use on my house. I'm with him we're both avid supporters of the orangutan plight. So I see him at many of these fundraisers, and he actually wrote on Gotta Go Green, the album that you're helping me promote right now. He wrote the quote on it. It says, "You gotta check out Debi Derryberry's new kid album, Gotta Go Green. Great songs with a great green message." Ed Begley Jr., my buddy. Love Ed Begley. Anyway, he drives an electric car. I have an electric car. And this song is written about my electric car, and I'm hoping that it can get kids and the world to be more aware of the gas consumption and not using fossil fuels.
Awesome. Very good. Debbie, it has been an absolute delight. I could talk to you for another hour, I think, but I think both of our voices would finally go. But I wanted to say thank you so much for being a part of the Someone You Should Know podcast, and I hope you had as much fun as I did.
I did. Thank you so much, Rick. Thanks to all your listeners, and good luck and congratulations on over 200 episodes. That's awesome.
Going to school and we're right on time in my electric car, in my electric car. 'Cause we didn't have to wait in the long gas line in my electric car, in my electric car. The freeways are busy but you can't complain, 'cause electrics can't always use the carpool lane. Now me and Mom are headed to the grocery store, and we don't have to buy gas anymore. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car. I did all of my work, so I get a treat in my electric car, in my electric car. Saturday's the day for fun at the beach in my electric car, in my electric car. Charged by the sun that makes it run, cleaning our cities one by one. No global warming, that's super cool, 'cause we're not using any fossil fuel. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car. My electric car, my electric car. We've come so far, we've come so far. Yeah, 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 no more dirty air. Yeah, 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 nothing else compares. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, my fossil fuel. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, yes anymore. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, yes anymore. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car, yes anymore. In my electric car, in my electric car, in my electric car.
Hi, this is Rick Anthony, thanking you again for listening to this episode of Someone You Should Know. Now, if you're an aspiring musician or an established musician that's looking for a little exposure, I invite you to drop us a line at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. That's someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I invite you to tell a friend about the Someone You Should Know podcast. I thank you for tuning in this time, and I invite you to check us out next time on the Someone You Should Know podcast, because you never know who's going to show up. Until next time, remember, God loves you, and so do I.